What is? And that's why I've been married twice, I suppose, to find out.
So what?
Why don't somebody tell us how to bring up our children right? I don't think anybody knows. Everything they ever did to me was stupid, as far as I can remember. The food they gave me must have even been tainted. I think I must have been allergic to cow's milk. Do you know the first thing I remember? My father was cutting down a tree, and I laughed like a fool. I must have been about a year old.
Oh, come. That's a bit strong. You don't remember that.
Well, anyhow, maybe someone told me. But what I do remember is my father, drunk and perfectly marvelous. He let me stand with my feet right on top of his head, with my regular shoes on. Maybe he'd just been to the circus, and I fell off. He tried to catch me. Poor fool. But I landed on the dog, really. You wouldn't believe the impossible things that have happened to me in my life. Poor Mutt. Probably saved me from an injury. Or maybe he didn't. My brains have been curdled ever since, Max says. I fell down a well once, but they dragged me out. I fell out of a tree once too, trying to get horse chestnuts. I don't know what for. My brother was way up in the top of it, shaking the branches, so I had to follow him. Stupid.
Do you remember all these things?
I hated school. Now, why should I learn all of that stuff? Nobody ever took me and talked to me as if I had any intelligence. Maybe I didn't. I never could see any sense of it. Do you know what I wanted to do? Play with the boys. There was a patch of woods, you know, where we lived. Do you remember Martha Van Cleve? Well, I was just a little kid then, but I remember all about it too. Only I was too small, I guess. All of those things. I used to watch the boys behind the back fence. I didn't care. I wasn't even interested, but I used to follow them around sometimes. And the bushes were way over my head. I can still remember it. I wasn't afraid. I ran away once. Well, I didn't run away. I just started to walk, and pretty soon I came to the river. There were those catkins that fall off the poplar trees in the spring, lying all over the path, and I thought they were worms. I must have been barefoot. I was terrified. I didn't want to step on them, so I turned around and went home again.
I was just going to remind you.
Oh, let me talk. I was just getting to what I wanted to say. Do you remember when I was a little girl? No, you wouldn't. You were one of the older boys. I used to hear about you. How wonderful you were.
I knew your brother.
It doesn't matter. Just a lot of kids. What did we want? Did you ever know? What were we all so excited about? I used to wonder about others. I still do. I remember how I wanted a bicycle. I don't think I ever wanted anything my entire life as much as that. But I didn't get it. The only reason I wanted it, I guess, was because somebody else had one. Anything we hadn't seen before. Isn't that what it was? Ugh, school. So stupid. I used to vomit my breakfast so I wouldn't have to go. Have a little more of this?
Sure, why not?
Like it now?
Not too bad after you
Imagine me, a student. Honestly, what good is knowledge if it doesn't make you happier or better? It's a drug on the market. The happiest people I know are those that simply don't know nothing. Some of these girls that went to college, of all the goddamnedest people. Honestly, don't you hate some people? So, I got married to the first man that proposed to me. Poor Ed. I knew him ever since we were kids. I wasn't excited about him, but he was a nice boy, I used to think. And I still think so. But I couldn't see why I should have a baby right away. This isn't 150 years ago. These are modern times. People don't have babies like that anymore. Isn't that what causes wars? Too many babies? Anyhow, that wasn't what I got married for. We fought every minute. Boy, what battles. You could have heard us a mile, especially when we were drunk. I often had to laugh at what the neighbors must have thought of us right here in this town. To hell with them. What do I care? Do I have to be a goddamned fool just to please the neighbors? Not me. Let them move away if they don't like it. Do you know the best time I can remember? It was when we were breaking up. I thought I was in love with a swimming instructor.
Let me tell you some of my own little weaknesses. Women, they fascinate me. All kinds of women. I'm an absolute fool for them.
Sex, huh?
I admire them profoundly. What a marvelous job they do with the equipment they have. Mentally concave, physically inferior. I always think of women in terms of the old Roman gladiatorial contest as the Retiari, the netmen, remember?
Who? Me?
There were the fellows with the short swords and the broad-brimmed clothes helmets and a fishboard crest. There were millions. Shin guards, a girdle of some sort, and that, I think, was all. The others, unprotected, completely nude, in fact. If I'm not mistaken, carried a trident in one hand and a small fishnet in the other. It must have been fairly light net at that, so it could be handled. These two fought together. It must have been pretty much of a standoff, since those duels seem to have been a regular fixture on the old programs. The net against the short sword. The swordsmen attacked, and the Retiari tricked them with their nets as a matador does a bull with his red cape. More or less, that's the way a woman has to play it. Odd. Never occurred to me before that the matador plays the part of a woman.
Say, what is this? I thought I was talking.
You were. We can slap alongside the face. We become salesmen, walking up and down, tossing in our beds at the wrong time, even turn on the gas and worse. Purely a matter of the uniqueness of experience. The old sow has only the one milk to offer them, no matter which stick they take it from.
Listen! I didn't finish telling you about the swimming instructor I thought I was in love with. And one of these club pools. I guess it was just the relief I felt at getting unmarried again, but I thought it was love. I never did like to wear clothes. I'd never put on a dress if I didn't have to. Too lazy, I suppose. I got a pretty good build. Too much down here, maybe, but not so bad. I guess he thought I was a hot chicken, getting divorced and all that. Poor guy. But I liked it while it lasted. I'd lay out in the sun on the hot boards. Sometimes they're too hot, and put my head on his knees, and he'd fool around with my hair, comb it out, and massage my scalp by the hour. Right there in the open. I suppose some of the club members didn't like it. Do you know the thing I enjoy better than anything else in the world? having my back scratched.